And chat. How's it going, guys? Welcome back at long last to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. It's been a while. It's been quite a while. I dropped this game for various reasons, which I regret, but a patron's having me play it. We're going to work on finishing it. I don't think I'm close to finishing it today, but we'll see. Yeah, we're on day 2. Oh, God, it's been more than a year. September 11th, 2023. Holy shit. February 23rd, 9:34 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. Well, I'm not. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. Including the hairstyle. But there is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Chat is worried I've forgotten everything that's going on. So there's a murder that happened in the parking lot of the prosecutor's office garage. There's a cowboy cop investigating it who doesn't like us very much. The primary suspect is this lady, whose name just passed by on screen and I wasn't paying enough attention to. Her little sister is helping the investigation. I think the thing that I least remember is the characters' names, but I've got the basics of what's actually going on in my head. This is the beginning of the case, so the game itself will summarize stuff. Fair enough. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. How did you materialize your glasses on your face in a frame flip? February 23rd, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Oh, I'm facing Edgeworth again. Oh, boy. Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. The prosecution has been ready since you went on hiatus. Oh, no. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The cough-up queen? Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? And you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Yeah, we're off to a great start with this witness. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty, it hurts! I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Can you even pickle tapioca? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call in the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. Huh? What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. Oh, she's fallen on hard times, huh? She was a first-rate homicide detective. Why'd she get fired? What? Miss Starr was a detective? Aha! I know who you are. Cough up. Cough up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutors' spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Parking lot floor plans. Added to the court record. Okay. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? Oh, this is going to be interesting. If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr. Wait, are they talking about me? Sure are. Witness's account. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. Edgeworth twitches in the background. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Is Lana? Right-handed? Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend? How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Witness's account. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. Okay, first, what are our options? Goodman's ID, King of Prosecutors trophy, given to Edgeworth, King of Prosecutors at the PD on the day of the murder. Edgeworth's knife, usually in Edgeworth's toolbox. Choices of victim's blood, no prints. Parking stub, record of parking in the prosecutor's office lot, entered lot at 5:12 p.m. Blue Badger panel, a work of art designed by the Chief of Detectives and created by Detective Gumshoe. Goodman's autopsy report, death due to loss of blood, one knife wound, died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. Parked at 5:12, so died by 5:30. So the parking stub does not contradict the autopsy report. Goodman's note, victim's memo found in the car trunk, 6-75 12/2. Cell phone, property of Lana Skye. Last call made to her sister Emma at 5:18 on the day of the murder. Parking lot floor plans. Okay. Alright. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. Why? How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, I know about that. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. You've got a grudge. Laid off. She was fired. By Lana? To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. One sec. On my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. This boyfriend, he's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Keep their names straight. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. By garish car, you mean Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth's? Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it? Indeed, it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you were sure it was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. Yeah? What consequences? I'll fry you like a fritter. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. Oh, come on! I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph? Huh. You took this? Okay. So that is Lana Skye wearing a blood-stained trench coat, looking into the back of Edgeworth's car. Why did she put on the trench coat? Okay. A photograph. You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over, and snap, I took a picture. With what camera? In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Crime photo added to the court record. Okay. Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Skye. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Oh, I'm sorry you can't stick around, Brinjel. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. I said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that. Okay. I already pressed on I knew this day would come. I pressed on boyfriend. I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Remind me. Hang on. Remind me. Was the chain between Block A and Block B a fence? Or was it... was it just like a chain link? I can't remember the look of the crime scene. Because if it was a fence that you can't get through, why was she over there? Why was she over there bringing the security guard lunch? Was a full fence. Okay. Okay, hang on. Like a coward, I will save before doing this. Okay, where do I want to... Was there a door in the fence? I don't see a... No, there is a door in the southeast corner. Alright, let's press her a little bit. Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all. Yes, that's about right. Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean a person. Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. So, the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point. Well, she was on the wrong side of the fence. This is going to give me info that, she couldn't get through the fence. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes. The next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. Okay, let's see. Excuse me. Alright, let's... okay. Deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. Let's present the floor plans. Your Honor, let's stay... Oh, no. Okay. Alright, well, let's present it elsewhere. I'm finally having detective's intuition at work. I don't think I've pressed on this. You sensed something, so you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like... how would you say? Oh, yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds. Is it? I have no idea what that means. Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim, Mr. Bruce Goodman, also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese. A young cheese? A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. Then I must be hard, yellowed, and sharp as a tack. Yeah, the odor of an old cheese to match. Don't say that where he can hear, Emma! In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. Is this the right place to present? Alright, I'm going to say wire fence. From the knife in the right hand. She starts to come and keep the knife in Detective Goodman's chest. Alright, let's go back through the cycle. Okay. Wire fence, I think. Okay. Moment of the crime. Let's present it. Oh, that music didn't stop. Oh, boy. Okay. Alright, well, that lost us too much HP. Okay, let's see. I got the crime photo. Alright. Name and ID number are written here. Sergeant Bruce Goodman. ID number 5842189. Oh, he's a sergeant. I wonder why they only use numbers for IDs. What else would they use? Letters, silly. They're the reason we have a written language in the first place. True. Sergeant Bruce Goodman. ID Yabadab. See? Wouldn't that be better? Yabadab? Well, it does have a certain ring to it. Exactly my point. Haha. It doesn't take much to amuse her. Nothing on the back to look at. Alright, let's take a look at the knife. This must be the victim's blood, right? Either that, or Edgeworth cut himself peeling an apple. What's Edgeworth doing with a knife like this, anyway? Hey, maybe he spends his weekends roughing it in the wild. Edgeworth? In the wild? I think my fruit peeling theory is more likely. Are you kidding? I always pictured him as an outdoorsman. Now there's a scary thought. Anything else on the knife? To examine. Doesn't look like it. Parking stub. Miles Edgeworth, 1712. This is dated the day of the crime. The murder took place 3 minutes after Edgeworth parked his car. If only he was held up at a couple extra red lights. He wouldn't have been caught up in this whole affair. Perhaps. It just goes to show you never know what'll happen when you run a yellow light. Okay, anything on the back? No. Alright, let's examine the Blue Badger panel. Can't examine the Blue Badger panel. Okay. Goodman's autopsy report. Date and time of death. Cause of death, loss of blood from chest wound. Wound was caused by 4.5-inch knife. A single stab wound was found. Okay. Goodman's note. Let's take a look at Goodman's note. Can't examine it. Okay. How can I examine the strap? Man, what a boring strap. What's wrong with it? Everyone has different tastes, you know. Here, check out mine. It's a pink princess strap. These are hard to come by, you know. You see, the series is as popular as ever with the kids. Phoenix, you're practically a kid yourself, you know. There's no need to push this again. What's wrong? You look like I do during finals. Never mind. It's nothing. Can I get a record of the call? Okay. Alright, parking lot floor plans. Alright, let's check this photo. That's not exactly a garish car. Okay, let's see. I think presenting the picture to contradict. Okay. The picture was supposedly taken at the moment of the crime, didn't she say? Okay, let's see. Alright, I always knew a day like this would come. I don't think there's anything we have that contradicts that. I'm on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. Okay. I sensed something. Perhaps it's my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Which she is not doing in this photo. You know what? Let's try it. Yeah! And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. The memes incoming. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yeah, give us the voice line. Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. Oh, we're back to this, huh? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. Objection! And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes. It's hard to tell, but this could be blood. It could be ranch dressing. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? Ah, you got a better idea? No, I'll press it. Objection. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice? I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. No, it wasn't. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating, like a robot. She doesn't seem very cold there. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. How would you know that? Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Doesn't she always wear gloves? Surgical gloves, made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Ah! These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. Alright, what do we have against that? Aha. Okay, so Edgeworth's toolbox was in the trunk of his car. How would she know that Edgeworth's knife was there ahead of time? Okay. So the question is, do I present the parking stub or do I present Edgeworth's knife? I'm going to present the parking stub. Shit. Alright, well, let's present the knife then. There we go. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there? The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder. And that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Oh. She's sweating. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Order, order, order! Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Oh, what have you got now, Edgeworth? Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. Oh, she doesn't like hearing that. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now? But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Angel's deduction. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Again and again, huh? The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So, if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Okay, well, I'm going to press on the knife going in again and again. But let's review our info. Alright, what are the details of the phone? Last call made to her sister Emma at 5:18 on the day of the murder. Okay. Wait, hang on. Was the parking lot A block? Was not for detectives, it was just for prosecutors, right? Prosecutors. B block was for visitors and clients. Okay. Alright. This guy intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. You have no proof that Miss Skye called him there. You have no proof that she didn't. Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts? There is no record of a call made on the defendant, Miss Lana Skye's phone. She might have written him a letter. Edgeworth working against her. Come on, you could have tried public phone first, at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness? Why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day? I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Why? What kind of grudge? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? How am I supposed to know? See? We agree there is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree? No. I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty. This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? It's simple. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. One knife wound. Objection! You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise, why do you carry that around? I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. Excuse me. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Edgeworth working against himself here. Aha! You're right! Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. Good show, Phoenix! What a hunk! He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. Oh, she's changing her story. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify! This lady sucks. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. Muffler, huh? Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. Objection, the witness sucks a detective. Ha! What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really? Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness. Continue your testimony, your perjury. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Oh, I've been missing messages in chat. Man, Twitch needs to get a grip on its functionality. Apprehending the suspect. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Starr, resistance is futile. How did you get there? You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Starr. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Roar! Very well, Mr. Wright. You cross-examination, if you will. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Wait, hang on. Save like a coward. Nope, damn it. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. Damn it. Okay. Caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested. Okay, so I guess I'm overthinking the fence in the middle of the parking lot. There must be a door in it or something. I don't know, explained her rights to her and arrested her on the spot. Yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. Why would she do that? She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean... Ask further. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory? It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. God, you suck. No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently, it was out of order. And so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Don't praise her. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. Things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Emma, did you hear the word muffler? I saw it all, and she tried the phone on the wall, but had to use her cell instead. She was behind a partition. Ah, shit. Alright. Say quickly, were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details? I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So, you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes? Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain-link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing! The cough-up queen, lunch lady athlete, indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Sky not get away? Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. Alright, I'll press on that to update the evidence. She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? Okay. Muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. Not all, as she tried to use the phone on the wall, but had to use her cell instead. Alright, I'm going to save, and then I think present the map again. Yeah, finally get to use the map. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky. Objection! The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Admitting to it, huh? Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were indeed locked, you couldn't have seen it. What? Ah! Order, order! What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about... I think it's what she saw. Hang on. Saving like a coward. Oh, it's only going to take 1 HP off of me. Okay. Yeah, what she saw. She lied about what she saw. In other words, she didn't see Miss Sky using that emergency phone. It does seem hard to imagine how she could have. Very logical. What's the matter, Star? Cat got your lunchbox? Mr. Wright, I hate to bother you while you're celebrating your victory, but why would Miss Star lie like that? Huh? Why would she say that my sister had tried to use the phone but failed? It doesn't make any sense. Why lie about something so insignificant? Oh, dang, she's right. I mean, maybe she really did see her try to use the emergency phone. I see no room for doubt here. You ordered the patooey on rice, right? Mr. Wright, I thought you had something there. Damn it. One more try. I see it in your eyes. You haven't learned your lesson, have you? Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. This lied about... I'll say where she saw it. Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Star to lie about it. Oh, now he says that. Pointless to lie. I see. Let's say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Star witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it that is not the win you think it is. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place where Miss Star witnessed this crime was here. Oh, I have to pick. I'll say here.
Take that!
I think. I mean, it's highly likely that's where she was. You think? It's highly likely. I guess that your cavalier attitude stands in stark contrast to your feeble argument, Mr. Wright. Whose side are you on, Emma? Her being there wouldn't change a thing. Please, Mr. Wright, think before you speak. Damn it. Okay. You slide about where she saw it. Okay, security room with her boyfriend.
Take that!
This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room? Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. None in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime in the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr? Excuse me. How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today, a man has got the better of Angel Starr. Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Skye? Mr. Wright? Doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. She's got a grudge. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. Objection! It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. So, tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Yeah, Phoenix. Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference. But what? What would change? Okay. So both angle of view to the crime and distance to the crime are true. I'll say save like a coward. Angle of view to the crime. Why, the angle at which she saw the crime occur would change. The angle? What do you mean? Well, the security guard station is on the second floor, and, she would have sort of a more 3D view of the crime. And this is important. Why? God damn it. Perhaps you'd like to reconsider, Mr. Wright? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Okay. Okay, so I guess it's... I guess it's distance to the crime. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. Objection! My condolences, Mr. Wright. But one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. Oh, same distance, of course. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. God damn it. Okay. Wait, I'll play this out until I get the HP loss. I don't see how that would change what she could see. Objection! What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Aha! Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Skye? Well, witness? You... Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. I almost jumped the gun, yeah. Boysenberry for the boyfriend. He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. So she went all the way out there. Okay. That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking in B block. That's quite a detour. If the door was locked, how'd you get up there? It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes? This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. Really? That's what you want to swear on? You have a point. And the spork is a wonderful invention. Would you like another caviar lunch? How many lunches did you bring? Absolutely. Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this? It's an objection. Objection! 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time. If you like it al dente. I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange? If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. Miss Skye dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Yeah! Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Oh, multiple witnesses in the same day, okay. Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. That was too close. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. Ha! And with that, court is adjourned. Hold it! Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's the one she tried to foist off on me! I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr. Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? Woohoo! A triple-decker! Big eater, this judge. Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Come on! This guy sucks so much. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? Decisive evidence. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? No, you didn't. 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. How do you know this? This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. What? There was blood found on that shoe. Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? She made it up. Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Well, I've broken that quite a lot. In other words, the shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, the shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Haha, there's that expression. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. You could at least study some evidence law. Really? The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. Victim's shoe. White enamel shoe. Bears traces of blood from Goodman and Lana Skye. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Someone updated the autopsy report on Edgeworth. How the tables turn. How the turntables. All right. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's. All right, let's look at the shoe. This blood, it's my sister's, right? It appears so. Lana's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime. Poor sis. Okay, so there is a reason to suspect she had blood. Blood on the bottom of the shoe. So she stepped in it. Ah, there's blood here too. On the sole of the shoe, it's got to be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood. All this blood. It's horrible. This blood might be an important clue. Okay. And the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. The shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. Okay. It's pretty sly, hiding evidence like that. There's nothing sly about a lawyer using the law as a weapon. She's not a lawyer. In any case, science is always on our side. Don't forget, scientific investigation is the wave of the future. Maybe I should investigate this evidence a little more closely. I already did! So, you brought it to the forensics department. If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. How did you get a hold of it? Shouldn't that be in the morgue? Did you loot his body before leaving the crime scene? You need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Well, the man was stabbed, after all. And that blood belongs to the victim, Detective Goodman. As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. And the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. Alright. Shoe proves it. Alright, let's present the shoe. 2 types of blood. Nope. Okay, that's not it either. Alright, what have we got? Card. Such a loss of blood, 1 knife wound, died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. I don't see a pool of blood. I don't see a pool of blood. Alright, where can I present... Okay, let's press. So you brought it to the forensics department. If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. And I'll put forensic expert. Okay, I already pressed on that. You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie. Huh. Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. Come on, Phoenix. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just 1 person. Or so I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana Skies. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. The shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Gross. Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some, like your client, she's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? I'll say, save. Like a coward. And then say yes. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there is one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now, but you couldn't take the heat, could you? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. Oh, which bloodstain do I pick? I'll do the one on the bottom. I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? Now I can show the crime photo. The problem lies in the footprint. Yeah. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order, order, order! Well, witness? What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright. But it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Emma, whose fucking side are you on? Think, Mr. Wright, think! Hey, I don't know why it's not there. Yes, you do. He was killed somewhere else. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? Hold it. I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Raw. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness. Well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean to wipe the bloodstain away. However, that wouldn't have gotten around the divider. You don't mean, yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. Don't I know it? That reminds me, Miss Sky's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she'd cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe? Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please! What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime, and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, Object, Phoenix! Hold it. Little girl, what did you just say? Why are you prolonging this, Angel? Don't you want Lana to get put to death? Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side? Aha! Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are, demanding a second help. This is like the 5th helping, Angel. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence. She just cannot help herself. Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court. That's the judge's call. Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen. Look at this. A photograph. I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence. Mr. Wright, wait. Look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. No, let me see the photo. I'm sorry, Mia. Hang on. I don't have the photo in court record yet. Right. Wet or not. Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, right. Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? This poor old man? No, fuck him. He sucks. He's corrupt and an idiot. Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph. Okay. What is that? What is that? In the tailpipe? What is that in the tailpipe? I've got HP, and this is probably the last question of the day when my HP will be reset. Excuse me. Okay, the asphalt is wet. Was the clue that was called out? No, that was just, no, it matches her testimony. What is this thing in the tailpipe? You know what? Screw it. I'm going to present that. Problem, this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Ah, right, it's a muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also a part on a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system. A pipe. I see, and I see. What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there is something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Objection! Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to this case. Okay. Alright, let's see. Piece of cloth in the muffler. Could have been used to wipe off. Could have been used to wipe off the knife, but there's blood on the knife. Parking lot at 5:12 p.m. A knife wound. Could be Lana's cell phone. With the word muffler was overheard during the call. Let's present it and see what happens. Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler. Ah. Ah. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh. Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Whew! That was close. But we made it. At least for now. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime, after all. He's still hungry? To be continued. What do you mean, to be continued? Just take me right there. Oh, it's auto-saving. Have your progress up to this point. Yes. All right. Well, that natural story break is a good place for us to take a quick stream break. I'm starving. I need to eat something. So I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. All right, back. Before we continue, I do want to plug something. I make my living off of my Patreon. It's my only income. And I just lost a substantial amount of patronage, a large chunk of my monthly income. And, you know, that's fair. The people who ended their pledge had financial issues they needed to address. But it is going to hurt pretty badly for a while. And I still need to save up for my move in June. So I just want to advertise my Patreon, patreon.com/Loreweaver streams. The link's also in the description of the YouTube video and can be found with the ! Patreon command in Twitch chat. Any amount you pledge would be helpful. I also have 3 slots open where you can pick a game for me to play once or twice a month, depending on how much you pledge, just like I'm doing today. Please pledge at least a little bit. It would really help. And get in touch with me if you want to pick a game for me to play. So, yeah. Onwards with the game. Why did I pick up my PS5 controller? All right. So what's the second half of this day going to be? February 23rd, 11:56 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Are trials always like this with you? Yes. Sorry. Like you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake, about to reach the surface. But no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there. Pretty much. Except today, we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister anyway? Apparently, she got called off to the judge's chambers. Probably something to do with that piece of cloth. So, this is where we turn this trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth. I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. Hola, partner. Oh, it's you. They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper. That's what they told me when I was a youngin', at least. Officer Marshall! Thought I'd come take a look-see at how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They've got the home ranch locked down, tighter in a fort in enemy territory. That hard to slip out, huh? What's going on over there, anyway? All the police I've seen these last 2 days have been really on edge. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example. Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf. You don't say. Now, don't that just beat all? Did you find a scarf? I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day, too. She was wearing a red muffler. Oh, is that what's in the exhaust pipe? Oh, no. What? At the awards ceremony that afternoon. Edgeworth's seen it, too, I'd reckon. What does that mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf. So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken. Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. And sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. Are you on my side? I have a bad feeling about this. So, what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright? If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Ooh-wee! February 23rd, 12:32 p.m. District Court, Courtroom number 9. I'd like to resume. What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Yeah, what? Oh, what's wrong, Edgeworth? Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused. You're doubled over. Your back is bent. It can't be! This can't happen! I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth. Well then, I believe it is time we continued on with this trial. No, what's up with Edgeworth? During our recess, I had requested the prosecution. This is unacceptable! It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Excuse me. Knock, knock? Who's there? What's with this guy? A strange, stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. And he's got weird background music. Not really an organ guy myself. Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in. Who on earth is he? Ah, it's you. Well, who? Hello? Oh. Sorry I'm late, Udgy. The roads were packed. It's just me. Long time no see, eh, Udgy? How you been? Swim much these days? Hello. No, I've been so busy. Udgy? What is your name? Oh, he's just saying, he's just riffing on Judge. Judge. Busy smizzy, Udgy, my boy. You have to make time to relax. Yes, indeed. Udgy seems to be his nickname for the judge? I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you? Aha! So you're Righto, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son. Huh? Thanks? So sorry about our little worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly. Little worthy? Mr. Wright, you don't know the district chief of police? Oh, uh-oh. Oh, no. Chief of police? He's the top-ranking police officer in the entire district. Well, generally the cops won't give me the time of day, so, yeah. I've never had cause to meet this guy. His eyes are so weird. Name's Gant. Damon Gant. Pleased to meet you, everyone. Demon Gant. I bet he did it. So, to what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Well, it's worthy here. Look at the poor fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler. So Miss Starr wasn't just seeing things. When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler. But to think that it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe. On Little Worthy's car, no less. It's really quite embarrassing, even for us. What's this? It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. When I played this game, I imagined Gant being voiced by the late, great Ed Asner. Try it and see if that enhances your experience. I've heard the name, but who did Ed Asner play? In what? Because I don't have a reference for the voice. Chief, what kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth, how could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? It was Carl and Up. Ah. Man, what did Carl sound like? Now, wait a minute, Worthy. I've no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Oh, uh-oh. This is a man who's used to being in charge. Have a look at this document where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature, is there? Miles Edgeworth. That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. Ah! The court accepts this new evidence. But I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure. I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes, well, I think all you have to do is push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point it at people anymore. Ha! Come on, just hurry up and open it. Oh, going slowly, huh? There's a small tag on this knife. It seems to say SL92. What does that mean? Well, I've heard something similar. DL6 of DL6 incident fame. But it's strange. Huh? What is? I'm not certain, but I get the feeling I've seen this somewhere before. Letters like this, or letters that looked a lot like this, somehow. Yep, it's a case number. Alright, let's open it up. Broke? What? Don't scare me like that. Broken knife with blood on it. Interesting. Were there fragments of knife in Goodman's chest? I'm the one who's scared. Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off. And this dark red stain. Blood? Darker than the blood on other stuff we've seen. Switchblade knife added to the court record. This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and the police and this knife? Sure thing. Not a problem. Not even a little one, really. I do not trust this guy. He's got a name that isn't a pun, which especially makes me not trust this guy. Excuse me. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed at the police department, see? What a mess. The time of the crime? 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? Another dead police officer. Huh. It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. There was a murder at the police department? A detective? That's hush-hush information, Ajay. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Well, you just announced it to a courtroom full of people. Objection! Wait a second. You said 5:15. That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. So it couldn't have been Lana. Order, order, order! Anyway, we at the department were all a-flustered, as you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? I think we understand the police department's situation. Well, Mr. Wright? 2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places. The chances of that are really slim, scientifically speaking, of course. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Oh, I'm going to lose HP if I don't, huh? Department of Disorder. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Alright, I'm going to save. Excuse me, special? Mm-hmm. Hard to come by this particular knife anywhere else. Might that special thing be this little tag? Oh, sorry, Righto, but I can't say that now. Not that. We've established that the knife in Goodman's chest was this knife. Now, why was there another knife at the scene of the crime? That's quite a mystery. And like a mystery, it's wrapped in something. A muffler. Okay, hang on. So if Goodman's murder took place at 5:15, according to supposed witnesses, couldn't have been done by the same person who killed the cop at the police department. However, okay. Okay, so let's put this together. Switchblade with a broken tip covered in blood. Found in Edgeworth's muffler. It was in the picture, which means it was there when Angel was dealing with Lana. If that's the murder weapon used on the cop that died, no, it couldn't be, because that cop died at 5:15. Okay, so unless Gant is lying about the time of death of that cop, the switchblade can't be the murder weapon in that case. However, the autopsy report for Goodman says that he died sometime between 4 and 5:30, which means that if Goodman was dead and stuffed in the trunk of Edgeworth's car, if Goodman was dead and stuffed in the trunk of Edgeworth's car, the person who killed Goodman could then have gone to the police department and murdered this other detective. Okay, so we've established that that's probably the order of events. Now, okay, so how about Goodman's murder? Okay, so if Goodman was already dead when Edgeworth arrived at the prosecutor's office, if he'd been stuffed in Edgeworth's trunk, what does that mean as far as the... Okay, so which knife was used to kill Goodman? Edgeworth's knife has Goodman's blood on it, but that doesn't actually mean anything. Because, the knife could have been inserted into the existing stab wound. Because the Edgeworth's knife is... Edgeworth's knife could have been inserted into the existing stab wound to get Goodman's blood on it. Okay. So we've got We've got the broken switchblade. I'd say pull out the metal detector we used on Von Karma and see if there's a piece of switchblade embedded in Goodman's chest. Okay, so as of right now, the timeline I think is Goodman gets murdered elsewhere with the switchblade. Well, maybe he was murdered with Edgeworth's knife and then stuffed in Edgeworth's trunk. Okay. But what was the switchblade used on? Oh, hang on. Maybe the switchblade was something Goodman used to defend himself? And the tip of the switchblade is lodged in the murderer's chest. Okay. That seems like an interesting tack to take. Okay. So let's go over this. Somebody catches Goodman. Somebody catches Goodman in a different location, somewhere near Edgeworth's car. Goodman and the murderer get into a knife fight. If Edgeworth's knife were used to kill Goodman, then the murderer would have had to get Edgeworth's trunk open? And then kill him. If the switchblade was used to murder Goodman, which doesn't seem like a weapon a police sergeant would carry around, so it was probably the murderer's weapon. If that was used to off Goodman, there's a piece of the switchblade lodged in Goodman's chest. And Edgeworth's knife was used to obfuscate who did it. But then, why shove the switchblade into... why shove the switchblade into the muffler? Why... Hang on. So how did the switchblade get into Lana's muffler and then get shoved into Edgeworth's muffler? Hang on. That calls into question the timeline here. Okay. So Lana was wearing the muffler earlier in the day. Where was she wearing the muffler? Was it just upstairs at the prosecutor's office, or was she wearing it at the police station? I think. We've got 15 minutes left, just a reminder. Oh, you want to only do this for 2.5 hours? You want me to stop? You want me to stop so you can do other stuff? Ah, crud. Because I'm down to keep going if you are. I scheduled for next week too. Did you? Yeah, let me look at the schedule. Oh, so you did. Okay. All right. Well, let's work our way through this timeline and see how much time we have left. Okay, so things we know for a fact. There was a piece of cloth in Edgeworth's muffler. Allegedly, that piece of cloth was Lana's scarf with the switchblade wrapped inside it. Allegedly. The switchblade has an evidence locker tag on it, which means it was originally taken from the evidence locker. So Goodman was most likely killed elsewhere with the switchblade. Was he? Hang on. How did Lana's muffler get wrapped around the switchblade? That's an interesting question. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's proceed with the testimony. And like a mystery, it's wrapped in something. A muffler. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. This knife was found on the scene of our crime. I think that makes it connected to the case, don't you? See, there's a lot of things that go on at the department I can't explain. What if this is... Okay, so Gant is either the murderer, or he's a character from later Ace Attorney games that got backfilled into this case, and I'm not sure which. There's a lot of things that go on at the department I can't explain. It's delicate, okay? Sorry, Righto. Maybe there's something about the knife that will give us a clue. Let's examine that knife while we can, Righto. Don't call me that. Evidence that links this knife to Detective Goodman. I think perhaps the pieces are falling into place. Alright, let's look at the knife again. There's a small tag on the knife. It says SL92. What's that supposed to mean? I'm not sure, but it reminds me of a similar code. DL6, maybe it's a case number. That's weird. What? I don't remember where, but I think I've seen something like this before. Something similar to what's written on this tag. It wasn't that long ago either. A refresher for people who just... Who this is a refresher that they wrote into the game for people who beat the game previously and skimmed through their replay to get to this content. It wasn't that long ago either. Maybe I should check the court record again. Alright. Hey, where's that last photo? 675-12-2. Hang on. SL92. Okay, never mind. That's not connected. Alright. Autopsy report. Hey, check it out. There's a metal plate here. It looks like the names of all the previous recipients are engraved on it. Wow, one guy's listed a bunch of times. Von Karma. Oh, I guess he must be a foreigner? Yeah, that's probably it. Well, wherever he's from, he must have been an amazing prosecutor. Well, by the standards of the, Ace Attorney universe, sure. I'd like to meet this Mr. Von Karma sometime. When she says it, his name does have a kind of a ring to it. Okay. Perhaps the pieces are falling into place. I should try presenting the piece of evidence that's had me stumped all this time. So, how were things down at the department? That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. Something happened at the police department too, huh? You got a good look in your eyes there, Righto, my boy. Sharp, hungry. So, something did happen. Why wasn't I informed? Why weren't you informed? Well, why didn't you ask? No matter, I understand. You were busy, what with Lana's case and all. Well, what happened? What happened at the police department that day? A detective was killed at the police department, see? What a mess. On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot. Another detective was killed at the police department? That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Udgy? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Larry Butts. Just arrested. That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Righto. I suppose I could help, if you help me by giving me data on your case. Ooh, good one. This kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing, and one thing only. Ooh, okay, hang on. Salve. We know when the victim died. Where the victim was found or how the victim was killed. Okay, which do I want to do? Oh, wait, no, he said at the police department. Okay, how the victim was killed. Well, how was the detective killed? How was he killed? Now, that's the interesting part. It was what we in the force call a stabbing, with a knife. A knife? That's exactly the same as Detective Goodman. That's the spirit. We're cooking now. But you know, that's not the only thing that was exactly the same. What do you mean? There were more similarities between the two cases than the cause of death. It seems like I'm going to have to press this a bit harder. Time of the crime, 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? 5:15? But that's when Detective Goodman was killed in the prosecutor's office. What? Funny, isn't it? A murder at the prosecutor's place and a murder at our place at the very same time. What are the chances? Coincidence? This is just my gut feeling, but I'd say there's a 0.001% chance of that happening. Chief Gant, please tell us more about the incident. It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. How can you say there's no connection? How? Because I'm the chief of police. I can't just say anything I please, Righto. You understand. Try to understand, Righto. Not you two. Well, if you can prove there is a connection, more power to you. Maybe there is something that ties the two murders together. Whatever it is, I'd better find it and get to the bottom of this. 2 detectives were killed at 5:15, one at the prosecutor's office, and one at the police department. It can't be a coincidence. I think Goodman was killed a lot earlier than 5:15. And that knife. What was it doing there? I'd better check this knife out. This knife is special. I can't say how here. Hang on. Alright, let's double check. I'm going to prove the connection between this knife and Goodman. Oh, it's upside down. 229 SL9. Right? That is. It does say SL9. Yes, it is. Here it is. Objection! Wait a second. Ah, at last. An honest-to-goodness objection. This knife. This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? Aha! An honest-to-goodness, what do you mean, Fromaggi? This is great! Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL-92. And this is important. Why? Over here, we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. Save and quit after this summation. Okay, cool. What's this? 6 minus 7s, 12/2? Your Honor, it's upside down. Upside. The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around, and what do you get? Ah, aha! Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. SL-9. That's the same thing that's written on the knife's tag. Order, order. Well, Chief? Ah, well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, Righto. I win? What game is this guy playing? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. Okay, so you want me to save now? Save and quit now and end the stream? Just to double check. Was that where you wanted me to stop? Sorry to cut off here. Well, we'll continue next week. Alright, well, that's all the time we have for today. Because the patron wants 2.5 hour streams, which I forgot about. Yeah. The plot thinkins. We will pick this back up next week. So let me read the schedule and I'll get off. Tomorrow I'll be playing The Legend of Zelda for nostalgia's sake. Just, for myself. Wednesday will be Ogre Battle 64 for a patron. Thursday will be 1,000 Times Resist for a patron, possibly finishing the game. Friday will be The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky 2nd chapter for a patron. Saturday will of course be our weekly Final Fantasy XIV stream. We're starting Shadowbringers, finally. Sunday will be Slay the Princess, the Pristine Cut for a patron. And next Monday we'll be continuing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney for this patron. So that'll be it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next time.